Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Battle of the Bangers Season 4. I'm your host. My name is Tyler, and I am once again joined by the boys. We have Brennan.
What's going on, folks?
And we have Kyle.
How's it going, everybody?
So, we have just had a lot of chaos so far in this season of Battle of the Bangers. We were, of course, talking about the Battle of the Sad Summerfest 2022 lineup. Let's load up the bracket here and see the damage. We're moving into the semifinals today. All the preliminaries are done with. The last one was just such a fucking bloodbath. I don't actually know if we can upload that to YouTube because it was just genocide. But, like, if it was up, then you watched it and you probably know. Holy shit. But today, we actually have another very, very tight matchup against two huge powerhouses in the scene. We have the number 1 seed against the Current versus the number 4 seed, Mayday Parade. Hoo boy. People are going to be upset about this one regardless of who wins. Oh, wow. Big fan bases for both of these bands. I'm kind of leaning away right off the bat, as you probably guessed, based on the fact I didn't vote for one of these bands to be here. But I want to hear you guys talk about this. We've already kind of broken down each band individually in the preliminary round, so I think we can get kind of just directly into direct comparing them. Brennan, we're gonna start with you as per usual. What do you think about the comparison between these two bands?
Obviously, Mayday Parade kind of... Like, Mayday Parade walked so Against the Current could run. I think that's pretty much how a lot of these bands, like, a lot of them are in this case. Like, Mayday Parade really set the foundation for a lot of this shit. And a lot of that music still holds up today. I mean, maybe it's not as refined as, like, some of the newer stuff, and it's not as refined as what a lot of these other bands are listening to now, but, you know, their earlier work was so, like, monumental in the scene that it's basically impossible to ignore. Them going up against the Current, though, against the Current, they're obviously a lot hotter now. They did do the League of Legends song, we all know that. But that's the rest of the stuff's no slouch compared to it. I mean, even though that's their most listened to track by a mile, you know, they had a couple records that I thought were actually pretty good. Man, as far as voting for this is tough, but I think we're putting one band that was like the keystone that like first built the bridge, and you know, Against the Current is like today's like powerhouse of pop punk. So It's gonna be tough for sure.
Yeah. Kyle, what do you think about this matchup?
It's actually a really interesting matchup to me, honestly. I do completely agree with you to start out, Brennan, that I think that, you know, like the whole Mayday Parade walked so everyone else could run. And some of them trip and fall and hot shit. But I I gotta move on or else I'm gonna have an aneurysm again. I think the matchup between these two bands is really cool. I think both of them, you know, I think they both, to be honest with you, I had my notes pulled up and then the whole thing just like left me and I don't have my notes anymore. I'm pulling them up desperately trying to get back. Yeah, I'm just going to look behind the curtain. I'm lost without anything. Both of these bands are still very good today is my main thing. You know, I think that there are like opinions as like Mayday Parade fell off a bit. But I like, as I said before in the last episode, I think they just kind of grew into something else that's still pretty good. Does it touch the old stuff to me? Not really, but like it's still really solid. They're able to like they're really able to like kind of shift sounds, and that's something I didn't really talk about before. Is that like they can do different songs and like kind of shift like the lead vocalist tone, the whole like just all like the like maybe like a slower ballad style versus like a more upbeat tune. Or just like that really emo shit. And they can really just like, they can form to anything. And I think that does come with how mature the band is. Counterpoint to that though, or I guess like the comparison to the other side Against the Current, they're also doing that extremely well at Against the Current. You know, they haven't been around for as long and they're fucking able to just jump all over the place, fucking hit so many different sounds, shift it up so much. And it's just fucking phenomenal. So in a way it's a comparison, but also I think that's a point more to Against the Current where they've already kind of like achieved that. They've gotten there and they have so much more to do still. You know, I'm so excited to see where Against the Current goes. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think both the bands have incredible instrumentals all around. They've got really good vocals. I think Against the Current wins a good bit there. But in general, you would say on paper, this is a pretty damn good matchup between these two bands. I just think that, when you really like break down like what these bands are doing like at this moment and what they're probably gonna be doing mostly of at Sad Summerfest, I think there's a way that you would lean kind of naturally. And I mean, maybe not everyone feel that way because there is, like, as we said before, there's a lot of nostalgic love for Mayday Parade. But damn, what Against the Current is doing is like actually fucking so good. It's just so good. They're fucking moving the needle and they're fucking just nailing it, dude. I love Against the Current.
Yeah, I mirror a lot of that sentiment. Obviously, like, I'm the one person here who doesn't have like a ton of nostalgic attachment to Mayday Parade because they're just a band I never really listened to a lot when I was younger. But Mayday Parade is one of those bands, and I sort of said this before, where like I have to be in a very specific mindset to listen to a lot of their current stuff. Not all of it, and I think that all of it is still objectively good, but they are more emo than like pop punk, like they want to try to make you feel things. They want to talk about their dead girlfriends and their puppies getting hit by cars and drugs and all the things that emo people sing about. Against the Current is just not that. I mean, they have like some more somber stuff, but like I feel like Against the Current kind of is more broad in their spectrum of what they're putting out. I think that objectively, the vocalist is just leagues above the vocalist from Mayday Parade. Not really a fair competition because I think Chrissy Costanza is just like objectively the best vocalist on this entire bracket, one of the best vocalists in the scene in general. So I mean, Mayday Parade guy, who I can't remember his name, not a bad vocalist. Nor was the original vocalist who went on to do other bands. But I don't know, I just feel like every single way these bands like square up against each other, like Against the Current just has an edge in like pretty much every area. Like there's not really any... I mean, I guess like the one point you could put in Mayday Parade's favor is that like their older stuff holds up really well compared to the new stuff, whereas like Against the Current, I think that like they've just progressively gotten better and better. But that's kind of subjective. So doesn't really hold a lot of weight.
You know what? And that's actually really interesting, right? Because like the reason why you'd say that too is that like, Mayday Parade's been around forever, and massive respect to Mayday Parade, in this matchup and, just still being around, still making good music. Because some bands that go this long don't just keep putting out good music the whole time that they're around, Yeah. But I actually, that made me think of something. And it's that I feel like if you flash forward like 10 years from now, I would bet that that's how people are going to look at Against the Current in a lot of ways in the genre. Like people are going to look back to like some of the stuff that they've released recently, or maybe even stuff that's still to come. Who fucking knows? They're still pretty young. They're still like really finding their thing. And I feel like a lot of people are going to look at early Against the Current stuff and they're going to go, damn, that really shaped like a corner of the scene in a lot of ways. And a lot of people are probably going to say Against the Current walked, so blank band could run. Like maybe more bands in the pop punk scene with female vocalists. Maybe more bands that like, cause like didn't Against the Current like start like on YouTube too? Like they had like a lot of cover stuff early on, I believe. And that's like where they came from, if I'm not entirely mistaken. I was reading up on the Wikipedia.
Okay. I didn't do that much research.
And who fucking knows if Wikipedia is right? But like maybe that's another thing that they like kind of like make the cornerstone for in the genre. So I could easily see that happening. And with time, maybe that they edge out Mayday Parade there too.
Yeah, but it's not what's happening today in this moment. I'm gonna put it up for vote because I feel like we all kind of have our decision made at this point. Not much else to really say about this. So Brandon, I'm gonna pass it back over to you for your vote.
I know that the conclusion of this is, definite. so I don't feel bad going against it, just so that way this band has the proper representation. But my vote is going to go for Mayday Parade with the full confidence that you guys are going to vote for Against the Current.
I respect it.
Yeah.
It's just the nostalgia and like the excellent times I had listening to Mayday Parade. You know, I can't abandon them here, but Against the Current is what's going on now. But my vote is for Mayday Parade.
All right, Kyle.
Press F for respects.
Hell yeah.
I'm very glad you did it because I was thinking the exact same thing. If I'm being completely honest with you, I was like, man, we have to, because like you really do. You just have to fucking respect it. I've got such a nostalgic pull for it, and I will there's always gonna be a part of my heart that's just gonna hold that so dear to me. But you know, when you're looking at these two objectively, I have to go with Against the Current, man. This band is this fucking band pounds, dude. Fucking pounds, man. It's tasty as shit, dude.
Pounds like the British currency or the weight of America.
Pounds like fucking, dude. It pounds like fucking.
Pounds like pounds like pelvic pounding.
Yep.
Like
Tight.
Pleasure.
Nice. Pleasure pounding. Yes.
Pleasure.
Cool.
Pleasure pounding.
yeah, the good old bumping uglies.
Woo!
Good old consensual pleasure pounding. Yeah, I'm gonna second that. I mean, Against the Current, they take it. They're just doing the Lord's work right now. They're just very talented, and I am mad at myself for not ever listening to them prior to
Same.
this show.
Same, dude.
So, like,
I was literally thinking the same thing. I was like going through all the bands to like study for this, and there's a good amount of them that I haven't listened to more than a couple songs for.
Yeah.
And I got to Against the Current, and I just fucking sat there and I listened to like everything. And I was just like, holy, how have I not? It's like, my eyes have been opened to beauty.
Yeah. It makes me want to attend this year's Sad Summerfest even more, and makes me sad that I probably actually won't. But you know what? We can at least be happy in the fact that Against the Current is moving on to the grand finals, baby! And next week, we are going to be doing the second semifinal round, Water Parks versus Neck Deep, which means all of the low seeds are officially gone. We are left with the number 1, number 2, and number 3 seed.
Woo.
People may call us basic, but it's right. The
Some of the
truth has
seeding
been
was
spoken
right.
so far. Yeah.
Some
So
of
we'll see. We'll see how this next one goes. If you want to be notified when this next installment comes out, make sure that you subscribe to the Talks a Lot Boys and ringle-dingle-dangle-dongle the bell as hard as you possibly can. And that way you'll be notified when the next episode of this immaculate series comes out for your viewing pleasure. Also, make sure, if you liked this video, please give it a like because it really does help out a lot. And make sure to comment below if you agree with our decision on this matchup, or if you disagree, and what you had for brekkie, because, you know, it's the most important meal of the day, and we're looking out for you. Eat your muffins and oats, people. That's all we got for today. Don't question me, Kyle.
Interesting go-to, Brecky. But that's
yeah, that's all we got for today. We've been the Talks a Lot Boys. We'll talk a lot more next time. See you later.